morning, America, and welcome to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series Challenger America Edition. I'm Nathanius, joined by Zombie Grub, as we head into the second half of our Challenger broadcast today. And guess what? It's not all Zergs and Terrans anymore. We got some Protoss now, too.
It's no Zergs. It's 3 Terrans and Protoss.
You guys got your fix? You guys okay with that? We didn't ask chat for permission to get rid of all the Zergs. I don't know, man.
Take a quick poll.
Yeah.
To say.
Give us your best Zerg emotes in the chat, all right? I've seen a lot of neuro spam, and yeah, let us know how mad you guys are. It's Challenger, though. We're going to quickly go over the format again because technically it's an entirely new show. So have a look-see. We've got players competing for a spot in the bracket stage, which we'll be doing next week. 16 competitors, of course, were in the groups. We had 4 groups. This is the last of 4, and the winner gets crowned the regional champion. They're also playing for seeding and travel to the circuit events. We have our final circuit event for StarCraft 2 World Championship Series coming up next month in Montreal. And it's going to be a good one.
I love how you try your best to, like, you know, pronounce it like the natives.
Yeah.
Same for America. You just can't say America without your American accent.
I just try to be as American as possible. And the only thing more American, of course, is our dollar. We got a lot of them up for grabs here, ladies and gentlemen. 10,000 of them. 1,600 in first place, so those are 200 WCS points. Because Sarah won all the circuit events, no one's getting direct seeds to the global finals, which means WCS points are your only way in. So the players will be fighting very hard to get those. You thought they didn't matter when we talked about Challenger at the start of the year. You were wrong. And yeah, so we got a lot of great matches coming up today as well. I'm excited for the American matches. Some of my buddies, we got MaSa and Astrea. We're going to start this with some TvP. Then we go into some TvT, Semper and Epic. It's just all good stuff the whole way down, Zombie Grub.
Yeah. I like how we don't know, like, at all what the Americans look like. It's
absolutely
a mystery.
Not. No. Well, they could have just replaced all the logos with a little PJ Salt emote, and we would have gotten the job done just fine. I saw you guys in chat earlier watching some TVZ. But TvP to start things off, I think, should be an awesome match. The format of the actual matches, very simple. GSL-style groups is what we're doing here today. You got to win 2 best-of-3s to get out. You got to lose 2 to get knocked out. It's not possible to have any other result. You either 2-1 or 1-2. Best-of-3s, and we're playing on the map pool that we were using in the previous season for WCS Valencia. So there you go. That's all you need to know.
That's everything in case you forgot in the last 5 seconds.
Well,
5 minutes, actually.
To be fair, on a Sunday, I imagine a lot of people in America wake up after 10 a.m.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I don't wake up till noon.
If you guys were up at 7 a.m. with us when we started this shindig,
although it is like
why?
1 in East
The football
Coast.
games aren't even on yet. What are you doing? First match is going to be Hydra up against Astrea. Excuse me, his clan tag is Hydra.
Oh, boy.
I was reading that clan tag. He got me good. I've been up since 6 in the morning. We've got Massa going up against Astrea. Terran versus Protoss. Break out those Schultz shakers, ladies and gentlemen, because this should be a good one. As we've got in our bottom right corner of the map, we're going to kick it off on Catalyst. It is our red Protoss player representing Sloth Esports. He is Astrea.
It's been a while for him.
Yeah, he's coming back.
In the top left, pretty consistent in NA Challenger, it is the blue Terran, Massa.
And just to vindicate myself, you guys can all very clearly see his clan tag says Hydras. I just started reading from the clan tag. It happens, you know. Anything you put on that teleprompter, I'm gonna read, Zombie Grub.
I thought initially,
I mean anything.
I thought initially there was the Hydra graphic. And I was gonna give you the benefit. I was like, wait, no, there's
that one is confusing. So in the last patch for StarCraft, they added those banners on the loading screen, and the Protoss War Chest one is like a Templar holding up a Hydralisk head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they use a Zerg portrait, and you can bait them. I even saw someone set their clan decal to be the Zerg race icon in that, and then how do you know that they're actually Zerg or Protoss?
Before there was like the big graphic of like a
it was a giant Marine Zealot or Hydra.
Yeah, before that though, there was nothing. So my portrait is always a Zergling, or almost always, because it's my favorite unit. It's so cute. But I play Terran, and I would actually, back in the day, have Protoss fast expand against me and be like, wait, no, I thought you were Zerg. And I was like, ha.
That's the meme
Ruins.
scheme. So for the for all intents and purposes, this is an extremely standard schmandered opening on both sides. The Protoss is going to go for the gateway, then the Nexus, then the second gas, and the Cybernetics core. The Probe scouts and harasses. The Reaper's going to come out and try to deal with the Probe. And we're going to have a second barracks, so this is going to be a 2-1-1 most likely out of MaSa. A lot of Terran players have been doing this versus Protoss. They like to throw in a little bit of that tickety tank setup. Whether it's defensively, yeah. Today, the word of the day today is alliteration. That's what we're going for.
What is a tickety tank?
It doesn't mean anything. It just kind of sounds like a variation of the word tank.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes.
He's not building a reactor yet, by the way, on this barracks.
No.
I'm confused.
No supply block because of it, but he chases away the Probe.
Why is he building 2 Marines?
Yeah,
is he gonna rush a bunker? I don't. I'm actually confused. The Reaper sees a sentry, so is he worried about something else? You don't see Protoss open with a sentry often.
That's very true, but then what would you suspect? I mean, all the gas are into the sentry. The sentry's not going to go across the map and scare you.
The really confusing thing about this Zombie Grub is that he isn't doing anything weird. He's getting a Twilight Council, but he's not. He didn't proxy anything. Like it's just.
This is super weird.
Yeah. Maybe he's worried about like Hellion memes, but that's not happening. The reactor finally starts, by the way, pretty late. I would say extremely late. You usually get it right after the Reaper. Or if you're going to build a Marine, you build 1 and then you get it.
Yeah, so he sees 3 Marines. That is a little bit odd.
I think you would build 3 Marines if you were concerned about maybe the proxy second gateway, which is still somewhat popular.
And the bunker.
Yeah, but then he would have had to get the bunker a lot faster. Otherwise, he would have been already killed by that build. So.
No, it's odd
weird.
for both sides. Very fast hallucinated Phoenix though, and that does. I mean, certainly that makes up for the Twilight Council as the opener.
Yeah.
So he's going to know exactly what he should expect. I mean, if you get this fast of Blink, you can just kind of control the map anyways. Usually still survive against a Widow Mine drop, but
that still confuses me though because he has an Adept. And he's getting another one, so he's going to go up to 2 Adepts.
Yeah, it
with
feels
a blink
like
opening.
I mean, it is the best case scenario of scouting. You can't actually kill the Phoenix, where I guess you could argue maybe you could see an observer or pop off the. Well, if Widow Mine hit this,
I don't mind this. I don't mind the choice for that. I don't mind that at all. I'm just a little confused by the choice to go for the. Why not open with 3 Stalkers? What was he? I'm curious what he was thinking about at the start of this game. That he's like, I'm going to go Sentry, Adept, Stalker, Adept when I'm going Blink, and he starts the 3rd Nexus, so this just feels. I'm not entirely sure what his game plan is here, other than I want to be really defensive.
It kind of feels like really old school, and we didn't really talk about the players too much, but you know, Astrea on this banner said his last challenger was in 2015. The last time he beat MaSa, it was actually in 2014, I believe, and lately has been losing to him. That makes sense. He's kind of coming back, and MaSa's always been dependable. So like the Sentry first kind of is like, I feel like an old thing to do, but. I don't know. I mean, he's gonna have Blink, even though he doesn't apply much pressure with it. He doesn't do any. Doesn't do any pressure or even like faux pressure to like really scare the Terran. As the Terran even like MaSa even sees the 3rd Nexus already on the way. It is leading into what we expect from a Protoss double forge. So into that charge, we actually saw a lot of Colossus transitions last week and yesterday too.
Well, we also saw the double forge play, and leaning that heavily into like a lot of gateway units, I think is still a really good strategy. And I think that the power of being able to have that mobility with a lot of heavily upgraded Stalkers and then moving in a ton of Zealots. Terran players still aren't really in that mindset yet where they're trying to, where they're like playing with a lot of things like the Widow Mines and getting Drilling Claws, so the Zealot play has become a little bit trickier since that Widow Mine nerf, but almost got the bait there, by the way, with the Adept.
Yeah, and then it just dies. And the Widow Mine is not going to be helpful in this push. It is with Stim, so winning on combat chills and +1.
Why is he pulling back?
I think he assumes that Astrea is going to be prepared for this. The army is probably going to be over here, but that Widow Mine actually got a shot off.
No blink either.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Observer's going to see the Marines are just patrolling around. They'd be a little bit of scared of the main base being dropped. Pylon could be nice and juicy.
Yeah.
I can actually see that Observer.
I mean, honestly, looking at that Cybernetics core, it's some
just grab it.
free real estate over there to pick that up, and the Twilight Council too. Really, that's just a really big spot. Now the Stalkers aren't too far away anymore, but kill it from the low ground, and you've got it.
Exactly. Don't lose the medevac though, and they do not get the second shot off, so he will be able to save medevac. But Cybernetics also is saved. We do have charge 1-1. But really, like it was fairly early immortal production, which Massa was able to see, so that's a good number there. The Depth Shade will see a couple SCVs coming along with these tanks.
Ooh la la. I do think that that's something that's not done enough, though. The benefit of having just a few workers over there to repair when you go for pushes like this really does make a huge difference. And the Marines are going to catch this Stalker as if Link's away with barely any health. Observer going to reposition itself. And there's a lot of Marines here. I like this. I don't think Marauders are incredibly useful against this. The siege tanks, though, one of them is a bit far forward. Gets picked up at the last second. Widowmine detonates. More Stalkers are being added, but the immortal barriers have been triggered on the two ones in the front.
I thought that was like a Warp Prism, man. The tanks need to be picked up from far away. But it's good that you say that now it's the one in the back, and it is going to be repaired. SCV's still alive.
SCV's really good move to bring those workers. Yeah. And this base under so much pressure, I'd really like to see Massa force the issue. There's not enough energy to get force fields that'll block this army away, especially with tank backbone. And a third tank shows up. Put those SCVs on auto repair and hit that patrol key, baby.
Yeah, I think Astrea was able to delay Massa's third CC, which is going on location for a little while, but it is on its way. Astrea loses his third Nexus, is still too scared to engage. Without that charge, it's still like actually a very long way away. So Massa will be able to build this bunker now as a Liberator to help with the siege. Astrea was thinking maybe a different angle would help, maybe cut off reinforcements, realizes that's not really gonna help either. This is getting worse and worse for him.
The sentries are the only thing that's keeping him alive. He doesn't want to get force fielded in half when he's too far away from the tanks. Just keep inching the siege tanks forward. There we see 2 force fields popped for just 3 or 4 Marines there. And now the force field count's been heavily reduced. These Marines step forward, trying to snipe one of the sentries.
I mean, he has charge, but it's not a lot of charge lots. He's not coming in from multiple angles. This looks like it should just be...
He has that +2 as well. Like, he really wants that +2 armor for these charge zealots.
Okay, so that's where all of his zealots went into. So he's trying to pull Massa back.
This is great, though. This is great. Now Massa is the one that's he's also stuck in this weird economic situation. I think if you, Astrea, realize that you're down a base to the Terran, then you're, like, really panicking. And this is still really hard. This is going to be difficult to bust out of this contain. But if he can stall for the upgrades, that'll give him his best chance.
That's very true. That will be a complete, like, well, actually, the +2 attack's a little behind, so not...
I think the armor upgrade's way more important for
this
situation, or
but
first game.
It will be the only one upgrade lead as opposed to the 2, which maybe in a perfect game.
All right, +2 armor is done. The Zealots will be a lot tankier. If he's going to go for it, he has to go very soon. 6 Zealots are being warped in now. He's warping more inoffensively, it looks like. I don't like
So, like, he split it, so... Well, he's assuming that the reinforcements are still, like, you know, kind of desperately moving across the map, but actually Massa's holding them all back home. I think he's kind of caught on to Astrea's plan here, and now just, you know, yeah, he can reinforce with bunkers and even a missile turret coming down.
Now he's finally going to push forward. He's got everything. Guardian Shield is going to pop the Liberator. Insta-gives the Sentry, though, and the siege tanks in the back are still holding strong. He retreats into the bunker, and I mean, that should just be it. I don't think there's anything that Astrea can do now. He threw his punch, did not land, and the Immortals are going to have a really hard time breaking this bio with multiple tanks and a Liberator.
Yeah, I guess that's why Astrea's sticking in the game, though, is that these Immortals still do live. Maybe work for another Sentry, buy some more time. But I think he also saw the third CC was on the way, if not completed, and it is now making its way to the location. So even though he might bust this, because the Immortals were able to bust past the tanks and the bunker, he still loses 3 out of 4.
No, okay, well, Medevac's going to get away. He did actually, you know what? He secured that base on the right side during all of this. But
he did.
He's got 38 probes. He's at literally half the supply of Massa. And I think the only thing that he has going for him is that +2 armor. It is really hard to win fights with as Terran when you're behind on upgrades against Protoss, who has the armor upgrade advantage. That's like Protoss's big thing there is you put the chrono boost, you get the armor. If Astrea wanted to go really crazy, I wouldn't even mind seeing him try to get +3 if he could, just to make those Zealots unkillable. But Massa is finally starting his +2.
His plan is to use all of this gas he's banked up for High Templars, Archons at the very least, but they're a little bit late. These units, they don't have any Immortal support anymore. All 4 of them went down to one last Marauder shot, so this was easy pickings for the bio, even with the upgrades. GG.
Massa takes the first game in a weird one. A weird one. Maybe, I guess it was just him showing respect to a potential cheese of some kind. That second gateway build that has claimed the lives of many a Terran player in between GSL, WCS, and ladder. So getting a few Marines earlier than you might normally need to just to be safe against it. Yeah, and Estrella just not able to deal with that attack. Really nice, well done by Massa.
Yeah, I mean, what did you really do for Astrea? You know, he had like the Immortals, and he almost was able to punch a tank out of that push from the get-go. He's very close to doing it. Just think one more shot, but
that was a perfect save by Massa as well.
It
I think
was.
if he loses that tank, then that changes the outcome
Be
drastically.
very different. But like, what else do you? I guess coming from different angles, it felt like charge, and his +2 weapons was definitely late. I don't know about like his +2 armor though. It seemed about right, but he didn't really have any other angles, I suppose. He's coming in through. Not much pressure was applied.
I think the last wave of Zealots that he warped on the other side of the map didn't do anything. They didn't stop the third. They didn't kill the bio. I think you warped that in at home, and then you attack before that bunker, because his +2 armor finished right as that bunker and the missile turret at the front were started. And that was the point where he attacked at the final moment, where that tank was behind that bunker. The probes couldn't get the surround on the tank. And, of course, the bunker didn't die until the very tail end of that fight to the Immortals. I think he could have jumped on him at that exact moment, but it's also a really hard call to make. You know, it's a stressful situation. You're not entirely sure what you're doing. And he was taking that base on the right side. So in his mind, he's like, well, if I can just stall it even longer, I can get some more money. But that was never going to happen, it seemed.
Yeah, so we're going on to 16-bit. I mean, that is a popular enough push style of play on Catalyst, but 16-bit should be quite different.
Oh, yeah. Strikes me more as it's going to be your maybe try to do a Hellion run by if they take the front base, Widow Mine drop, etc., etc. And it starts with people being like, is this the wrong map? So we're going to rehost it.
Hey, psych, guys.
We hosted on the wrong map. You baited.
That was map number 3.
We got baited. It's okay. It happens.
Well, no matter what we do, it will be different than Catalyst. You can depend on that.
That's true. That's true. Though at least part of our analysis was correct.
Oh, no, it was just entirely vetoed, so that's...
Oh.
It's a tad awkward.
Nice. So the second map is Acid Plant.
That actually goes back to being, I feel like you can still do a tank push there. Actually, it's pretty common to see a tank push. We saw a lot of that from Hero Marine yesterday. He tried, and that was one of the maps that he failed on doing it, so I guess I shouldn't give it too much credit.
Tank pushes versus Protoss are fun. With the way that a lot of people open up with the heavy gateway and the Forge upgrade style, it feels a lot like your money in Marauders doesn't go as far at the start of a lot of these games. So getting the siege tanks to help hold positions down so that you can just make more Marines seems to be like the way to go at the moment. And then basically you just try to make sure that you have your transition for Ghost set up whenever Storm comes out, or Liberator range, one of the two. But
we also shouldn't disregard the fact that even though MaSa is he's
heavy favorite.
He is a favorite, right? And he's usually dependable to make it quite far. And if he's a challenger, it's not entirely off the back of macro, is it?
No.
He had a lot of weird games.
Oh, yeah.
Himself.
Well, he literally cheesed every single game when he got to the last 2 matches of WCS Challenger Season 1.
Yep.
He cheesed every game against Scarlet, beat her, cheesed every game against Neeb, and lost 3-4, right? He lost by one map.
By one map. It was very close. So, got to bring it up because Acid Plant, we did see, we see from every Terran actually, NA and EU, attempts to hide tech as the Stargate opener is just a little bit too obvious where they're going to go. And Massa could certainly do that. I'm also thinking about maybe proxy somewhere. It could happen, or just go for the same push because it worked out quite well. Up there it is, Massa.
I was going to say that it's not a thing on this map as much just because there's no Reaper.
They're correct about that, yeah.
But there are other builds that a man can do.
I was thinking more of a proxy starport, for instance. Yeah. But no, we already have an SCV making its way out, so let's do the intros. In the bottom right, up 1, looking to potentially close this out fast. In the bottom right, it is the blue Terran, Massa. Wrong button.
How dare you press the wrong button?
Print screen doesn't help me.
It's okay.
They didn't press the pause break. Oh, that was awkward.
Well, that proxy barracks is on the way. His opponent in the northwest, who's got the pylon on the low ground, which means all of his production is going to be built at the front and potentially very vulnerable. It is Astrea. He's going Nexus first, by the way.
Oh, no.
Which literally could not be doing a worse.
Oh, what's he going to do? Reaper rush me?
What's he going to do? What are you going to do is all your probes to Reaper it to.
Yeah.
Well,
that's so sad.
So,
and he's gonna.
Who's playing next?
Well, serious. Separate versus Epic.
Okay, he's gonna scout it. I don't know, Kev. It's still not looking all that good.
Hi. Yeah, the SCV is gonna be able to complete that. not a problem.
You are a long way away from having a stalker, my man.
Yes, yes. I mean, you know what's funny, though, is that if you could just accrue enough minerals to entirely wall off, that repo will take a while.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. While you're not, build another gateway and a pylon. Screw it.
It is the best idea.
I do think that means that what you do is once you wall this off, yeah, that's what he's going to do, build a bunker at the front.
No, I think so. Actually, I definitely want to proxy the factory.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He just doesn't do it in an obvious situation.
Oh my god. You know what?
Oh,
he's not.
God.
Yeah, there's the Reaper, but the thing is you get the tech lab on the barracks, build a Marauder. Get a bunker.
Oh, yeah.
Get a bunker.
Yeah.
Get a bunker right now.
That never works. I don't know. It feels like they changed something, man.
You got to do it at the corner between the pylon.
Even
right
here,
there.
yeah, well, MaSa just like, that was never going to work. But
It's
even
also
at it,
really
I don't see it
flimsy.
work.
It's really flimsy.
It is.
I've still seen people post on Reddit about it because people learn about it every day. Just like people learn that you can steal add-ons in TvT.
Oh, yeah.
I still don't see any. If you get a bunker, I don't think there's anything you can do. You're going to get the gateways. You're going to get the cyber core. He's not going to chrono 2 zealots out. He's waiting to chrono 2 stalkers. And that will deal with the Marauder and the Cyclone potentially. If he gets a battery as well immediately. 2 adepts?
Depths? Wait, really?
No. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of why he would go for that as opposed to stalkers. It's not like he could not afford those.
Yeah. That's... Wow, probes are being pulled. All of them here. Most of them. As the Marauders are out. Okay, you know what? The probes with the adepts should be able to clean a lot of this. He's going to lose so much to do so. I'm waiting for him to proxy the starport. Man, a bunker at the front really would have been, I think GG would have been done in time. And then 2 Marauders in a bunker with the Reaper and Cyclone against this probe pool would have been enough. But he's going to get this around on everything. He actually can't repair the Cyclone either.
Nope. I agree. I think the bunker would have been nice. I think the SV should have been tagging that Cyclone. The extra repair there and focus fire on the second adept might have killed a lot more probes.
Massa does have more workers at the moment. Let's not forget that Astrea has 2 bases. So, yeah, this is just a weird one. Cyclone, Mr. Cyclone.
Okay, there we go.
But look at the focus. Look at the probes in this. The adept focus. The SCV.
That was nice.
For the repair.
That was nice.
And now he's gonna have 3 stalkers versus 1 Cyclone and the Marauder. Now what you do here, the best way to do this is you put the Cyclone in range of the shield battery, you put it on hold position. Well, I guess if the probes are gonna get pulled, you have to run away. But the idea is to not make sure you keep the Cyclone standing still as long as possible. If you put it on hold position, you micro the stalker back, it'll switch targets to whatever it can that's near its closest.
He's almost gonna get that 1 stalker. I mean, he's trying so hard to combine the Marauder slow for the Cyclone kill, and it's so close to working, but Estrella is still working. Well, actually, you know what? I don't think he can afford a 2nd stalker anymore. No, he's down to 14 workers, and he actually just built the probe too.
Probe boy, well, build the next Cyclone, so it's going to be 4 stalkers total versus this. I mean, the Marauders should be able to pop out and kill 1 stalker there.
Right. 2?
Maybe 2.
Quite.
Oh, yeah. Chitty bang bang. That's rough.
Yeah, and MaSa's going to continue with this.
MaSa's on that WCS, we can't stop attitude right now. That's what he's feeling.
Oh, maybe. He's going to try and pair it up again. I mean, Astrea has no scouting, so he can't really determine when that factory stops producing. You can probably guess where it is.
Yeah, I think we've reached the point where if you're Astrea, you just you have to just chill by the battery. This doesn't get easier to hold, but I don't know. I don't think 1 battery is enough. Force fields can help. Guardian shield might be even bigger for dealing with the Cyclone, but then you lose so much DPS by not having stalkers.
That's 2 Cyclones.
Was that a Stargate and then he canceled it? He built a Robo.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I think that was. So let's go for the Robo instead.
I don't think you and I accidentally thought it was the same wrong thing, so I think we're good. He canceled it.
Yeah.
Put the Cyclones in range of the pylon, hold position. They will shoot whenever a unit comes in range, and they will move away. They won't chase.
He's building SCVs and then also bringing more forward.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. There's no reason not to in this situation. Protoss has to commit so much. He's going to need to pull probes again if he wants to deal with this. That battery has been depleted, and now 3 Marauders with concussive shell, basically, like, you can't run from this. Now, he's going to lose the gates. This is all of his production at the moment.
Yeah, that is
He's going to try to chrono out an Immortal, I would guess, and it's not going to finish.
No!
He's survival out! Rip.
Not anymore.
He's like, take my stalkers, take them.
Yeah. This is still a thing that's going to be game because behind this, MaSa was able to get an orbital command. He's starting stim. He's got a tank in case there is a counterattack, and this is going to be too much damage. What a wild ride, though. I love the wall off stop the Reaper harassment, but the proxy factory was the definite right move.
Yeah, that pylon dies. So does Astrea. Massa takes first series 2-0 here in WCS America. In a true Massa style.
Exactly, in typical Massa. I'm glad I brought up the fact that Massa can do that because then he just did it. So it's perfect. Genius. But
Terran
that's
bias confirmed.
yes. I'm glad that's my title. It's perfect. And we are.
They
getting
let you
towards
put that,
TvP.
and they wouldn't let me put Likes
feel
Battle
like-
Cruisers.
So
That was Likes Battle Cruisers was too much for below my name, but Terran bias is okay.
I didn't
see
ask
how
for
it is.
this either. Like last week, they were like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "I don't know." And they're like, "Okay, we're gonna put you caster since 2011." I was
Where's
like,
my chicken
sure.
tendy connoisseur nameplate?
But now you have caster since 2012. Apparently, I've been casting longer than you, which I don't know if that's technically true, but certainly not offline stuff.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Oh well, that's
So
that. Massa moves up to the winners match. Estrella will fall to the loser match, where they will face off against the rest of our players coming in today. Next up is going to be a Terran versus Terran. We got Semper and Epic. The winner goes against Massa. The loser plays Estrella. TvT heading your way. Next up, Semper versus Epic. You're watching the World Championship Series America.